Well, hello, everyone. My name is Chris Barton.
And I'm Jennifer Ziegler. And this is Ernie.
And Jenny and I both write books for young people, and we love talking with friends of ours who also write books for young people about the dedications in their books. That's what this one's dedicated to is all about. Today, we are here with our friend Kekla Magoon to talk about her dedication in her new book, The Highest Tribute. Hello, Kekla.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Welcome. Would you mind, to kick us off, would you mind reading aloud the dedication in your new book?
Sure. So this is The Highest Tribute, Thurgood Marshall's Life, Leadership, and Legacy. And the dedication is for Cynthia. And you can see it there on the opening spread.
Lovely.
Next to the epigraph, which is a Thurgood Marshall quote.
That is lovely too. Would you mind telling us why, I think Chris and I kind of have an idea, but our viewing audience, would you mind telling a little bit about why you dedicated the book to Sin and who Sin is?
So the Cynthia that my book is dedicated to is Cynthia Leidig Smith, who is a very well-known children's author and now editor, publisher of Heart Drum, the imprint at HarperCollins, and has been a mentor and friend of mine for a long time. We are collaborating on a series of graphic novel middle grade. And so, I've known Sin for a long time. Since really before I had a career as an author. She was a faculty member at Vermont College of Fine Arts when I was a student, and now we're both serving together on faculty along with Jenny. And so, Sin is someone who I have known that there would be a book dedicated to her. There may be more than one in the life of my career that's dedicated to Sin. But this one in particular is dedicated to Sin because it's my very first picture book. And one of the challenges of writing a picture book is figuring out how to boil down the whole enormous life of this person. Thurgood Marshall was the first Black Supreme Court justice, and before that, he was a notable attorney who argued segregation cases, or argued cases for overturning segregation, such as Brown versus Board of Education, that desegregated all the schools in the country. And that's a huge life story to try to fit into 32 pages or 40 pages in a picture book. And so that was the biggest challenge that I was wrestling with while writing the book, is how to narrow that down. And, and I kept kind of messaging Sin and talking with Sin about it. And she was really helpful to me in that process of kind of narrowing things down and talking out ideas and figuring out the story that I wanted to tell about Thurgood Marshall, because there are a lot of ways to talk about him and a lot of angles you could choose. And, my sort of, I don't know what I'm doing, here's what I'm thinking, that I was spilling out to Sin. She, in her wise, calm way, sort of helped me synthesize that and helped kind of feed back to me some of the things I was saying. And, I recall emerging from a phone conversation with Sin going, oh, I know how I can write this book now.
What would you like the world to know about Sin that maybe they don't know about her?
Sin is she's just the most wonderful, giving person. And she is so full of talent and so full of energy and skill. And she spends almost all of her time devoting that energy and skill and talent to others and to care for the community, the RVCFA community, the children's writing community as a whole. She's been managing her blog, Sensations, for at least maybe 15 years or more. And, that is a tremendous resource. Her whole, ethos is providing resources for people, helping people find their way, helping people find their place. I know dozens, perhaps hundreds of writers, and that's not even an exaggeration, who will turn to Sin for advice and wisdom. And she's always there and always passionate about other people. And so I think that the thing that she often is known for is how much she helps everybody else. And so I enjoy knowing, who she is as a person underneath all of the care and love that she gives to everybody else. And so I think the thing that people should know is just how truly and deeply dedicated to bettering our world through children's literature Cynthia Leidig Smith is.
When I visit schools and kids ask me if I have any heroes, I typically mention Sin, both as a writer and as a community builder in the children's literature community. I noticed that both you and illustrator Laura Freeman had short, succinct dedications to Cynthia, to Griffin, I think is who she dedicated it to. Do you favor short, simple dedications that don't go into detail about why or who this person is, or was that just what felt right in this case?
I do think I favor short dedications. I have warred sometimes between, using someone's whole name, right? I chose to dedicate it to Cynthia as opposed to Cynthia Leidig Smith. And I take that into consideration. I think that for me, the dedication is more personal in the sense that I don't need every human who ever picks up the book to know exactly who the Sin that I'm dedicating it to is. It's more of an acknowledgement to our friendship. In my view, because we both Cynthia and I have published a lot of books, but there's still a finite number of books that you publish, and the people that you choose to dedicate them to are important in my view. And so I've dedicated books to my family, I've dedicated books to other mentors, friends, and it feels like a specific gift to that person more so than a public announcement of our friendship to me. And so I have tended to acknowledge people by first names as opposed to full names, and also for their privacy. I'm choosing to make my life public in this way, but not all of my friends or family might be choosing to make their lives public in this way. And so I've tended to choose first names and occasionally like a last initial or something like that.
Does she know? I'm assuming she knows. And if so, how did you let her know?
I'm not 100% sure that she knows, actually. My way of letting her know was going to be signing a book and sending it to her, but I actually have not done that yet because of the whole not going to the post office for weeks.
No,
So the book came out in January and it is now March. And so I should have done that by now and have not. So I will do that. She will find out either by watching this, hi Sam, or she will find out when I send the book to her.
Have you ever encountered another book that's been dedicated to someone that you dedicated a book to?
Not yet. But most of the books I've dedicated have been to my own friends and family. I wouldn't be surprised if there are other people who've dedicated books to Sin, for example.
Fire Truck versus Dragon. Which I dedicated for Cynthia Leidig Smith, so different approach from you, for Cynthia Leidig Smith and all the things she's really, really, really good at, for kind of all the same reasons you dedicated it to her as well. And there could probably be a whole shelf of books that have been or will be dedicated to her.
I would not be surprised. She's done a lot to help a lot of people launch their careers, make good decisions within their careers, and definitely is worthy of all those honors and respects and little physical nods like her name in a book.
Well, at what point when you were making the highest tribute did you know you were going to dedicate it to Cynthia?
When I hung up from that phone call, where I had come into the phone call going, can I even do this? I'm a novelist. Like, what am I even doing? And Sin was very, well, it sounds like you're doing this. Oh yeah, that is what I'm doing. And then when I hung up, I was like, okay, well, this book gets dedicated to Cynthia because like there was 5 minutes ago, or probably more like 45 minutes ago, I had no idea what I was doing and if I could even do it. And now I like actually have a path and I understand what I'm doing. And so it was a very crystal clear moment where I was like, oh, okay, thank you, Sin. That was so helpful. I'm going to dedicate this book to you.